Hello, this is Deanne Munoz, and welcome back to the Unleash Your Sexy podcast. Okay, guess what, you guys? We are in season 3, episode 11. We are one episode away from season 4. That's insane, because originally when I started the podcast, I was like, is anybody going to listen to me? Is there going to be a message, like what's really going on? And we're about to hit season 4. So that's really letting me know that you guys are my most valuable players in my life, because you all subscribe to my YouTube to hear this message, and you're all subscribed right now watching. I love you guys. Thank you so much. I really acknowledge you guys. And honestly, like, I'm here only because you guys love me. So thank you for the love. So we have a really fun topic this week. I want to introduce my co-host. We have Trevelyn over here.
Hello.
Hello.
We sound so excited.
And the crowd goes wild.
There you go.
Everyone stop throwing their panties. Stop it. Stop it. Stop them from throwing their
I'm
panties.
not wearing any.
And bras. I know either one, but that's why I'm like,
Just throw credit
my
cards,
dress
please.
is like up my coochies because I don't have underwear. Trying to block this shit. Okay, so we have Trevelyn on, and we have a really fun topic this week. And the topic is, if you are a straight man and you are dating a transgender woman, does that make you gay? Ooh. So I have on one of my dear friends. We have Miss Bradshaw.
Hi, guys.
Woo!
Well, thank you for having me.
Yes, no, thank you so much. So much for coming on. Introduce yourself a little bit, what you do. Plug in your social media.
My name's Tony Bradshaw. I am the Tony Bradshaw. Tony with an I on Instagram. And I'm a celebrity fashion stylist and makeup artist.
Yes, and she's really good at what she does. She's also an amazing writer.
I guess.
Amazing writer. She's worked with me on my team as well, with writing a lot of my YouTube videos. She is really like an all-around very creative genius.
Well, thank you.
Genius,
Jeez.
definitely. I would say genius,
If I
because
ever have like a...
when she has an idea and she writes this down and puts it up, it is genius. And you have a lot of viral videos. She has like a lot of viral videos that are on Facebook, YouTube, all that stuff. Like, this is a girl who
unintentionally viral.
No, yeah.
It's like, oh, I'm eating a cheeseburger on a treadmill, and I fell eating a cheeseburger on a treadmill. Oh, look at me. I'm like 50 million views later. Oh, my mom's like, hey, you're on like Buscando America, Mexico. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, tell them I said shout out to Mexico. Like, every time I've gone viral,
Gang,
it's always been
gang.
on accident. But thank you. Thank you for the views.
I love it. I love it. Okay, so I want to get to this question because I want to know the answer to
Let's
this as well.
do it. Let's do it.
So we have some first questions that I want to ask, which is, I want everybody to be educated. My left eyelash is heavy as poopies. Okay, there we go. My left one was okay. Okay, so my question is this. So I've obviously hit up a whole bunch of my friends about this, and I've talked about it on my social media. I've talked to everybody I know about it. And a lot of people are just wondering, what is transgender? What is transsexual? So our first question is, what is the difference between a transgender person and a transsexual? Because I feel as me being, maybe somebody came from the straight world. I don't even know. Even me being coming from a lesbian world, I don't think I've ever heard the word transgender, really. I've heard transsexual. So what is the difference between a transgender and a transsexual?
Okay, so the layman's terms for this is basically a transgender person is a person that identifies opposite of the sex they were assigned at birth.
Okay.
So someone that feels they were born in the wrong body. It's like, say, I was born male, but I identify as female, or
Right.
vice versa. That's a transgender person.
Okay.
A transsexual person is a person that takes it one step further and does the sexual reassignment surgery, so bottom surgery, to go the full Monty. That is the difference between a transgender and a
shut
transsexual.
up.
It's very simple.
So maybe that's why I've never heard the word transgender. 'Cause I think about it, we've heard like transvestites. Is that a word? Is
That's
that a term
actually,
or no?
it is a very, it's almost a little like,
Offensive?
yes.
Okay.
Because that's what they
So
used to
people
call
do
us
not use that
back
word.
in the day
Okay.
when they didn't know better. But like,
Okay.
you know, that the transgender and transsexual is what we identify as now.
Oh, Okay, so this is great education because at the end of I honestly didn't know a lot of this. So question in regards to this. So a transsexual is somebody who's actually had the surgeries.
Like just bottom surgery. It's surgery. Bottom surgery. Yeah.
Okay. So I'm gonna ask explicit questions.
Very specific. Yeah, to be very more specific.
I really want to know. I think I heard something about that they have to, if you want to get your like actual penis cut off, right?
Ouch.
That you have to go through like a certain amount of time of therapy first to verify.
You go through a year-long therapy of living as the gender that you believe you are.
Okay.
That means like 24 hours a day of you living like that, and then you qualify for hormone therapy and eventually SRS, which is a sexual reassignment surgery. SRS, sexual
reassignment surgery.
Reassignment
surgery. Ooh, I love that word, reassignment. Because it doesn't make it like
so taboo.
Yeah, like so like, oh my God, you're not supposed to happen. It's just reassignment. Like this is what I was assigned when I was born, but I'm going to reassign something. Oh, that's so interesting. Okay, so they require a 1-year therapy
of you living like fully as that gender that you identify as, day in and day out, just to make sure that you are 1,000% sure that this is who you are and what you are. Because once you go,
you can't.
You can't
sew it back on.
But it's very hard to go backwards. It's only recommended to go forward.
Okay. Wow. Do we, by any chance, know the percentages of transgenders versus transsexuals?
I don't know by the top of my head, but I think I would say now that it's become more mainstream, people are being more confident and being more alert about being transgender because it's the easier way to come out.
Right.
It's easier because it's no surgery or hormone treatment to to identify as that. Whereas when you go full on transsexual, then it's a full on like surgeries and hormone treatment and stuff. I mean, people people that are transgender, they still take hormones and stuff like that, and HRH and stuff like that.
Okay, so on that real quick, hold on. On that note, what is the Jenner's dad's name?
Caitlyn Jenner.
So Caitlyn Jenner, what does she identify herself as? Which is the Kardashians family's dad.
Kylie and Kendall's dad.
Oh, that's correct. That's right.
Formerly known as Bruce.
Kylie and Kendall's dad. Correct.
Her name is Caitlyn Jenner now. So she, to the media, is considered transgender. But to selective people that I know personally, she has said she's had bottom surgery. So she is considered transsexual. Okay. I can't confirm or deny because I don't know who she confided that information with, but from what we know and what we can see, she's transgender.
This is so interesting. It's just so interesting.
I remember him on a Wheatie box.
As one
kid.
Of the most
that was a
profound 70s? And prolific.
80s, right?
One of the most profound.
He was in the Olympics. He was actually a triathlete. And I remember opened up the cupboard and he was there in some little shorts and he was running and it was a Wheaties box. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
And now he's a she.
Yeah, I mean,
and that is who. You know what's crazy about this whole world? It's funny that you picked on that timing. I think that when he was Bruce, it was a timing where he couldn't feel comfortable enough to say, I am a triathlete, a successful triathlete that is world renowned, being on Wheaties boxes and everything.
Right. And
being able to say, this is who I really feel like inside. Because from what we've read in her book, and Kris Jenner's side of the story, she said she saw clues, and there were always.
I think they caught him a few times wearing
women's clothing and doing things. And
okay, so real quick question.
Sorry.
Right. So honestly, at the end of the day, if I found my man dressed as a woman in my clothes, I would honestly think like you're gay, like you like men.
Okay.
And I would.
And that's a fair assessment.
Right.
That's fair.
I would honestly.
Well, you have expensive clothes, so you can't be that mad at him. He must have good taste if he's wearing your clothes, right? Right? He's not like he's secondhand store
must be
clothes,
gay and
right?
bougie.
Yeah, it's not secondhand
and
store
savage,
clothes,
motherfucker.
you know. You know, if he had secondhand store
expensive.
clothes, you could talk shit about not only him being gay, but having fucked up clothes. Am I right?
It's true.
Am I- Yeah.
Because I
You're
was only
correct.
6, but I remember all this like
You were 6? Shit, I'm old as a motherfucker. I was in high school when
92.
I think it was a freshman.
Yeah, I was 6 years old.
Trev,
Huh?
what year? I was a freshman, I think, right? 92, 3, 4. I graduated in 84, so I was like a freshman, sophomore.
Yeah.
Where were you?
What was I?
Yeah.
You graduated 84?
I was loaded. I was
No, I
really loaded
graduated in
back then.
94.
I was like, what'd you say 84? I was like,
I was having a good time. I was loaded and
I was
having a
like,
good
that
time.
doesn't make no sense. I saw.
He's like, I was at the Rage. What was it called? The Rage.
Oh, that was in 2000.
wait,
yeah,
wait,
that was
wait,
in the,
what
that
was it
was the
called?
rage.
Rage Against the
I
Machine
remember that
concert.
too.
In
That's what
2000,
Trev
the
was
Democratic
during this
Party,
whole
yeah,
time.
I went to that. I went. That's
That was a
Silver
free
Lake.
concert.
And Silver Lake. I went to that. I went
No,
to
that
high
was the
school
one
there.
in downtown. That was when they did it at the It was I think it was the
The mosh pit protest. I remember
It was
that.
yeah. It was either Republican or the Democratic National Convention. They set it free. But yeah,
I remember that.
Yeah, I'm old. Yeah, thanks.
No, I'm too. I'm like, I'm there with you. I'm like, what?
Well, Trev, we're not old. We're just experienced.
Seasoned.
We're just
Seasoned.
experienced.
I'm like beef jerky.
darling.
If you want to talk about seasons,
You
then
get better in time.
Well, tonight you're Big Daddy. Just know that. Tonight we call him Big Daddy.
Oh God.
Okay, so let's go back to the 80s or 90s period. And imagine being a straight woman and finding your husband wearing your clothes. Or maybe your dad wearing your clothes or a woman's clothes. This is a time where it wasn't okay to talk about it, wasn't okay to address it. It wasn't even okay, right? At the time to even be it. It wasn't, like at that time, like there wasn't really gay clubs or, we were talking about the riots. What year did that happen?
92.
92.
The Rodney King riots was 92.
No, the other riots. When you were talking
Oh,
about
the Stonewall. No, that's
Stonewall.
60s. In the
Oh,
60s.
that was the 60s. Okay.
70s, 60s. But see, that's the thing. We've always been around, babe.
Right.
It's just that it wasn't allowed for us to be around. So we
Right.
had to do it in seclusion, which is how the ballroom scene in New York started, which is how the gay scene started here in Los Angeles. It was always underground, undercover, everything in seclusion. So it wasn't until it was legal because of the Stonewall riots, because a trans woman stepped up and said, you know what, fuck you guys. I'm so over you guys picking on us. I'm going to make sure that my community speaks up too and rebels against your against what you guys think is right and wrong. And that's why we're allowed to be who we are today. So
Right.
she set the tone for this whole thing. So shout out to her. Her name is Marsha.
Marsha. Well, thank you, Marsha. And honestly, thank you to every person in the world who's spoke up about what's in their heart or their calling and has taken a stand for what they believe and what they stand for and just stood behind it. Like, thank you for everybody for having that courage, for having that life calling. That one message is the message that can change the world. Everybody, you never know what that one thing you do can really change the world. So let's all encourage everybody to live outside the box, love each
And
other,
be a little open-minded.
spread love. Okay, so now we know that transgender. Okay, I'm gonna go for myself. Transgender is a man
Or a woman.
a man or a woman.
A
Oh,
man.
correct. A man or a woman who is born a specific sex, who is living as a different sex, but
Who
hasn't
I-
had the sex.
Who identifies as a
who
different
identifies as a different sex, but hasn't had the sex
surgery.
surgery.
Correct.
Okay. Okay. On that one, I'm gonna ask a quick question. So, can a girl who's transgender get a penis put on her and work, or no?
Yes. It is an implant, and it is very expensive. But yes.
It works.
It works
I'ma hold on.
with a bunch of little gimmicks and gadgets, but it works. Yes, it is a penile implant, and they have different variations of that, and it's not covered by insurance. It's
Yeah.
not covered by insurance.
So,
and
question:
it's
how much do
very
you think that
expensive.
runs? Can we look it up? Yeah, let's look that up. Okay, we're gonna look up how that just runs.
It's definitely
I'm
in the
intrigued by all of this
$40,000,
because me and my
$50,000,
girlfriends are at the end of the day we're like, okay, you know, because we know I actually know lesbians who are transgender now, living as boys,
Okay.
men's, I don't know, men, whatever.
Men.
Yeah, males. Let's say males, right?
Perfect.
Males. And at the end of the day, it's like, I feel like if I'm a woman, like if I want to be the male, like I'm looking for
A penis.
penis. So it's interesting because there's always a question that the straight people have or people who aren't in the industry who are like, okay, well, like, what exactly can you get it? Like an enlargement? Can you get it fake? Is like, do they like to hang it from the clit? I think I've almost heard like, oh, they hang it from the clit. We've heard so many rumors.
Not
like
sure.
literally, like let's just set it straight for everybody.
I don't know the exact way they implant it, but
Okay.
I know that it's a penile implant. And I know that it works just like a regular men's penis. And I know they can decide how large they want to be. And I know they can decide when and how it gets erect and all that. So it's like,
Wow.
it's
Honestly, I would for sure be like a good 9 inches. 16 and 19,000 for a
and that's probably a
penis
generic
implant.
version. That's like
Generic, right?
that's like a Kroger penis.
yeah, like it might be the one that just
Generic
hangs, like you hanging but not hard.
If you want a Gelson penis, it's probably like 40,000.
If you want a Louis Vuitton one,
Right. Then we
that
gotta
might be
go.
100K.
You might want to go to India real quick. Right.
You want to have sensation
That's
with
like
it?
that's a very generic standard penis.
Oh, that's great. Thank you for clarifying that because transgender is a word I haven't really heard. Transsexual.
And it can apply to both male and females that feel like they were assigned a different gender at birth.
Right.
So when
Okay.
we talk about transgender, we talk about all of that.
Transgender are people that you're born a woman and
Or a
you
man.
felt like your whole life you were meant to be a man, or if you were born a man your whole life you felt this in like your soul and your heart you're meant to be a woman.
Absolutely.
So that's called
You nailed it.
transgender. And a transsexual is both sexes actually making the physical changes to become the other sex.
SRS, correct.
SRS.
That's the nickname.
Sexual reassignment
surgery.
surgery.
Yes.
that
Come
word.
on, education.
Reassignment.
We're learning here
Reassignment.
today. This is like
Reassignment.
hooked on phonics for adults.
I feel like I'm hooked on phonics all day long, huh, Vanessa? I'm like, how do I spell the? Am I THA or THE? Like, or DA? Is it
Are we
or
doing
the?
Urban Dictionary? Or are we doing English Dictionary?
No, seriously, I have no idea how many times I look at urban words in my life. Okay, so thank you for clarifying that. I do have a question on that. This is just a rumor. I mean, I don't really remember. I know what I've heard is there a high percentage of suicide rate in people who've actually had the actual surgery?
Okay, so to touch on that subject, yes, there is a very high suicide rate with people who have made the complete transsexual transition. And it's because they weren't mentally ready for that or physically ready, to be real with you. And it's because sometimes people wait too late to transition in their life. And they are so accustomed to certain, touches, senses, feelings of their particular organs that when they lose a portion or all of that sensation, it becomes almost like mind-blowing.
That's my next question.
So it's unfortunate that does happen, which is why we have to undergo such scrutinized therapy to make sure that
yes.
this is what we want fully.
Right. Okay, and in that sense, okay, so that's a good question. Be a pervert. You guys ready?
The same thing happens when people lose limbs. You know that, right?
Correct.
They have phantom pains.
Correct.
They reach for, like, they're gonna put their shoe on. They
Right.
look and they're still. It's muscle memory.
Exactly.
It's muscle memory. So if you lose a limb, or if you lose an arm or something like that,
Right.
you'll scratch. You'll feel your arm itch, but you'll go like this, and oh shit,
And
my
there's no
arm's not
arm
there.
to scratch. Right.
But it's muscle
Wow,
memory.
Really?
That's a great analogy. That is a great analogy. So like most war veterans can
Exactly.
can definitely relate to what we're talking about.
PTSD. Oh, wow. Okay, so on that note, okay, let's just say I'm gonna be pervert. I'm a woman, right? And I get this penis erectile. Like, am I able to like still like rub my own clit to get off? So I'm just thinking. I mean, I want to come too. Like I don't mind like ramming you with my 12-inch fucking. I'm gonna make it black too, like like bam, 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 bam. But
Well, there's
I
different
mean, I want
type.
to come too.
There's different type of penile implants. I'm sure that your assistant looked it up. So there's some that are detachable, and there's some that you can wear 24/7. So I guess for a female to male transgender person, it's a topic of it's a choice, like of
Okay.
what you want to feel. Do you still want to feel sensation or not? I'm a transgender woman and identify as a woman. So
Right.
when I am intimate with a man, I do not want to be reminded of my male organs because I don't want that
Oh, really?
acknowledged, touched, felt, sucked, none of that. I don't want you to even, I want it to just, like in my head, it's gone. So I would rather you pretend for it be gone, which is, it's tough because all the guys that
I never knew
date
this.
me or have sex with me, the reason
They
why they're doing it is because
want
it's a
it.
fetish. It's like, okay, I
Yes.
want to, it's a unicorn, like they want to be able to
Yes.
like play with it and do whatever they want. And I'm like, no, that's not how this works. And that's why it doesn't work out in a relationship sense, because I'm like, no, I'm not your fetish. I'm a person and I have feelings and I have emotions. And us having sex right now was supposed to be something that is a deep emotion.
Right,
but
right.
because you've now fetishized me, I'd rather just not continue on this. So it happens so often in my world. Wow. Especially with like being a social media maven, plus that
Yes.
is just like, it just entices everything up even more.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Okay.
Welcome to my fucked up world.
Okay, so then question is, to me, is being transgender, how do you get off then? As a male going to female, if you don't want to be the touch it down there where it just could be like,
But see, that's the thing. That's the stigma. You think that I have to be able to
orgasm.
through ejaculation, and I don't. Mind is more mind. It's in my head, and I get stimulated through words and through other physical actions. That doesn't necessarily mean I need you to touch that in order for me to get off. It can be through, and then I don't know if you know this, but most men's prostates are our orgasm spot.
Oh,
So, like-
I know it. Ask all my exes. Yes, I put y'all on blast. How you like that, motherfuckers?
So if you hit,
Well, when you get my age, it's just enlarged. So does that mean what I mean?
then that means it might be easier for you to get off. Like,
So that explains it now. I understand that when I'm
I'd rather
driving.
you
Okay,
hit
that makes
that.
sense.
I thought I had a hemorrhoid.
Yeah.
No, I'd much rather you hit that and simulate that, because that to me is what gets me off.
Shit. I swear, I'm being educated right now.
Well, I'm glad I can be your teacher. You can call me Dr. Laura.
Dr. Laura. Dr. Brush on the house. Okay, here's a good question. Are all trans people considered gay?
Oh, that's a very good question. So the transgender community falls in the LGBTQ plus.
Right.
So we fall under that umbrella.
Right.
So we're part of the rainbow. However, that doesn't make.
Hold up real quick. Can you get a close up of her? Okay. No, close up of her. Oh, is it? Okay.
Okay, so so trans people are considered a part of the LGBT umbrella because obviously we are different than the straight community. However, because we identify as male or female in our own community, that doesn't make us automatically gay. Because what would make me gay is if I did another trans girl. That's girl on girl. That's like a lesbian. So if I dated another trans girl, then that would make me a lesbian. Then I would be gay. But if I dated a transgender guy, that would make me heterosexual because he identified as male and I identify as female. So that's like you dating a female. It's the same thing.
I'm lost.
Okay, let me explain. Let me explain to you even deeper. Okay, do you like hamburgers?
Well, yeah, I can eat a hamburger. I mean, I don't like meat, but yeah, I mean, if,
Okay, well, when you-
yeah, that analogy, yeah, I like
Okay.
hamburgers. Okay,
So you like hamburgers?
yes,
Do you like cheeseburgers?
sure.
Okay. So the easiest way to explain is because you like hamburgers and because you like cheeseburgers, does that make you a vegan?
No, it doesn't. See,
That-
see, the thing about it is that
Well,
I never looked at people as anything but who they are, human beings.
Right.
Right.
Or
And
you're the 1% of straight males that do that.
but that's how I was brought up.
Right.
You know, I was brought up with a father that didn't, but I was brought up with a mother that was like, no.
Open-minded. Right.
Of course. I mean, I'd be a fool not to be open-minded, right?
Right.
No matter how I looked or what my, what's what. But so when I look at somebody like, that's just a human being
Right.
because it confuses me.
Right.
And if I simplify it, it doesn't confuse me.
Right.
So to me, across the board, everybody's equal
Right.
in my eyes.
Absolutely.
And aside from that, as long as that person's treating me the way I want to be treated, it's all across the board. It doesn't matter if they're, whatever. They could be whatever. They could be. I mean, and that's the sad part is that people categorize. I'm not saying you,
No,
but
it's-
to make
we're
things
talking in general terms.
Yeah, in general terms, to simplify everything, whether it be race, gender, whatever it may be. If we're just looking at everybody like, we're just some weird human beings,
Right.
on a planet in the middle of the universe.
Right.
It really simplifies everything to where there is no confusion.
Right.
You know?
Well, that's why I wanted to use that hamburger cheeseburger analogy because if you like hamburgers and then you happen to like cheeseburgers and that doesn't make you a vegan, then that's exactly what I meant by if you like women and you like trans women, that doesn't make you gay. That means you just like women in general because that's what they identify as. What you're seeing physicality is a woman. And that's why I said what I said. It was basically to break it down. Now, if you said I like hamburgers, but I don't like tofu burgers because that's a whole different thing, then wait, then. Or if you said I like hamburgers but I like tofu burgers, then we're like, okay, so you like
Helicopters.
you like helicopters, and that's amazing because they're so delicious. But I hope that the analogy kind of breaks it all down as to where we stand, and where I stand.
Yeah, like I said, to me, it's just everybody. I just equal. If I look at everybody, I mean color and everything. To me,
And you have 3 daughters, you said,
I have
correct?
3 daughters. Yeah.
So if one of your daughters came to you and said, I don't identify as a female anymore, I identify as male, would you be supportive?
Absolutely.
That's awesome.
You know why I'd be supportive? Because number one, I gave birth to that child. As a father, I'm responsible. I'm responsible for that. And number 3, it's not my fucking choice.
Right.
It has nothing to do with me.
And I love that you come from a different time and
It
you
doesn't.
say that.
Yeah.
What anybody chooses to do in their life, I should have no fucking opinion at it at all.
Right.
Right.
It has nothing to do with me. Somebody wants to, I mean, unless it's harmful to people, then I'll have opinion. Yeah,
Right.
I mean,
Yeah, but this is a cause and effect to that person, not to the world, the masses.
Right.
Yeah.
Of course, the masses have an opinion because the masses have been told to have an opinion.
Right.
And that's okay,
That's
but have your opinion to yourself. Don't have your opinion to me if I'm not like purposely or like intentionally causing harm to you.
yeah, opinions are like assholes. Everybody has one. Huh?
Well, that makes me happy that
Yeah.
someone like you says that.
I mean, I support everybody's rights. That's the whole idea, right? It's who they are as human beings. And life's so short that if I was gonna sit and just dictate whether it be politics, religion, gender, I'd be wasting my fucking life.
Sure would.
I want to live my life, right?
We all would.
You want to live your life, so
Absolutely.
yeah. So why am I going to focus on one thing that has nothing to do with me, that doesn't, whatever it may be, and focus on it and push the issue to where I'm going to make my beliefs or what I think or my opinion, valid? Fuck no. It's wasting my life. And I'm on the tail end of this magic carpet ride. I'm going to try this motherfucker.
I don't think you're on the tail end. I think you're just in the
Motherfucker.
middle.
Can I ride your tail?
I think
Enjoy that motherfucker.
I think the rest
Can I ride
is.
your carpet ride?
I think the rest is still unwritten, right? Right? Am I here? Are you here with me?
Yes.
I think you're right in the middle.
Yes.
Oh.
And on that note,
Okay, so I'm just gonna take a little pee-pee break. Okay, I actually missed that. Just real quick recap. Are all trans people considered gay?
so what I was telling him, I used the analogy of, okay, do you eat meat?
Yes.
Do you like hamburgers?
Yes.
Do you like cheeseburgers?
I love cheeseburgers.
So does that make you vegan?
No.
Okay, so then that's exactly what we're saying here. So if someone is, I'm gonna explain to you I'm trying to explain to you very simple. Okay.
Simplify that. I
Okay.
love cheeseburgers. I love McDonald's. I wasn't even plugging for them.
So what I was saying is this. Yes, we're part of the LGBT umbrella because, of course, we fall under that because we're all queer in the eyes of the mainstream self.
Media.
Right.
Public.
Right. But trans people,
Okay.
most trans people don't even identify with gay, straight, bi, schmi. It's more so I'm just trans and I like what I like. But say I decide to develop a relationship with a trans man. We're in a heterosexual relationship because that person
And
identifies
that
as
is,
male.
female.
That is now male.
That is now male.
And I am a male that is now female. So we're in
Okay.
a heterosexual
Oh my God. Okay,
relationship.
we just brought this up last night.
Mm-hmm.
Me and my best friend Star, who she's lesbian.
Okay.
right, we were talking about there's a big trans porn star,
Mm-hmm.
and her boyfriend is a girl transgender as a boy now.
Okay. So
we
they're in.
literally were like, okay, wait, we have a guy, right?
Yes,
Who now
correct.
lives as a woman, and then we have a girl who now lives as a man, but they're together. One still has a penis, one has a vagina, but they're living as opposite sex. Like, what does that make them?
That makes them a heterosexual couple.
Okay.
Because if 1 + 1 = 2, then let's let 1 + 1
Okay,
equal 2.
So, question on that note. So then, so transgender is you. Okay, so a man who sees a transgender, right?
Okay, you have to be very more specific than
I'm
that.
trying to figure out. Hold on, I'm confusing myself right
Okay.
now.
Because the way you just explained it was perfect, and I just said 1 + 1 is 2. So
Yes,
you made
okay.
perfect sense.
So it's basically if I'm identifying as a man and I'm attracted to women,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm not attracted to men, even though I am a man, I'm not gay. Is that
Okay,
correct?
you lost me a little bit. So maybe if
that
I
make-
say this,
no?
it might help you out. So if I am a man and I identify now as a woman, I'm still and I'm straight, so I like men. So now I meet a transgender man who used to be a woman. In my eyes, that is a man. Therefore, I can still be attracted to that person. Actually, let's even break it down even more further. I can be attracted to whoever the fuck I want to. As are you.
Okay.
As are you.
Right.
We can be attracted to whatever we want to. And this is where the trans community gets really like controversial because of the fact that we don't really like labels. But I'm with it. Let's go. Let's bring it on.
Right.
I personally think that love is love, and that's what we promote
is
that
always love.
everywhere.
Yeah.
Like we like
Love is
like
love.
if I like
We
you,
have more love in this room. We wouldn't have no looting and
rioting and stuff like that.
beating at people.
Right. So like that's why it's like in our world, even in our own community, it's seen as like, well, you did the whole transitioning process. Why would you date someone in our community? Why not? Hello, like it's our own community that will understand how we want to be treated, how we want to be fulfilled intimately, how we want to be fulfilled non-intimately. So why not? Like, so it's so controversial for us to even date within our own community, because it's like, what is it?
Really?
Why can't I date a trans man? Why, if he's hot and he identifies as a male and I'm attracted to males, why is that so a big thing? Like, I should be able to, and I'm going to.
Okay, so question.
Mm-hmm.
You as being Jennifer as a woman
Mm-hmm.
is you're only attracted to men.
Correct.
Okay. So it could be a lesbian who's alpha, right? And who's living as a male now, right? Transgender, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're going from female to male,
Mm-hmm.
right? So to me, in my head, I think alpha,
Right.
period. Like you're an alpha.
So I should tell you this.
Okay.
Before I transitioned, as a male, I dated women. But guess the type of women I dated?
Tomboy,
Super
lesbian.
alpha, like
Yes.
misogynistic as fuck. Like I would bring them home to my mom, and she'd be like, "That's a boy." Like
Well,
he
as
wears.
well as, I mean, if everybody knows, like, I mean, for 7 years, I only dated women.
Right.
And then women I dated were very masculine women.
Correct.
Tattooed, very dominant.
Even if they didn't look masculine, they were masculine energy, I'm sure.
Correct.
That's
Yes,
exactly what I
yes.
was attracted to.
Yeah.
So then you should get the transgender world so much more, because then you know that what you're attracted to is
An
maybe not be,
energy.
yes, it may not be the physicality, because obviously physically they weren't born that assigned
Right.
gender, but it's the way they carry themselves and the way they
So it's
handled you.
kinda like masculine, feminine,
Mhm.
beta,
Alpha.
alpha and beta,
Mhm.
yin and yang.
Correct.
I was talking to Vanessa about this. We were talking about it, and at the end of the day, like when it comes to me dating a man, like I need you to out alpha me, and not in the sense of like I'm not looking for no BDSM stuff, because I'm not gonna bow down to nobody. But at the end of the day, like I'm a very strong woman. I'm very
Correct.
passionate, and I have a lot of point of views. At the end of the day, like I want to be feminine. So the man I'm with, I want him to be masculine. I want him to take over. Like I want him to protect me. I want to feel safe and secure. I don't want to be like, oh, I have to, I have to like, I have to like, like make sure that like my date's safe. You know what I mean? Like, what the hell? Like, like I've been on dates before where like, I mean, it's just, I don't know if it's just the millennial time, but younger guys just don't open the doors for women no more. They don't come to the door, and I'm like, I'll
Yeah.
open the door for you, bro. But guess what? when I'm fucking you tonight, you're gonna call me daddy. And they're like, ha ha ha. And I'm like, no, I'm really not joking. I'm really not kidding. I feel like at that point, like, I'm gonna make you call me daddy in bed.
Right.
If I have to open my own door, if I have to be, if I have to be a masculine energy.
You have to pay for dinner and like
yeah,
all
like,
this shit.
like
Yeah, of course.
I mean, I'll do it. Trust me. Like, I have no problem. That's what I do in my daily life. But when I'm with my lover, like, I want to feel feminine.
Correct.
I want to feel safe.
Now imagine
I wanna
being
feel secure.
me, a boss bitch
Right,
that
yes.
used to be male, that's now female, that's looking for an alpha male
Right.
that has alpha male tendencies. Now, do you know how much harder it is to date for me? Because it's like,
I know.
so now it's like
I've
the
been
levels.
single so long.
Same. The levels of like alpha just keep like escalating. I'm just like, okay, well, I don't want you to be a bitch, because I'm not attracted to bitches, and
I'm
not
gonna walk all over you.
Yeah, I don't mean
I'm gonna
like
tell your ass sit the fuck down. You shut the fuck up.
exactly. I'm not attracted to that. I don't want you to be a simp. I want you to be
simp.
a
I
simp.
learned a new word.
That's an old word.
I want
That's
you to
a
be-
very-
That's an old word?
That's an old word.
Shut
It's
up.
resurfaced. It's resurfaced. I don't want you to be a simp. I want you to be an alpha. So, because most guys, this is literally the conversation I've had with
Right.
most guys, my boyfriends, ex-boyfriends. They're like, you need to play your role. You are the bitch in the relationship. Therefore, you need to act like one. And I'm like, okay. So please explain to me what a bitch acts like, because I think I'm doing a great job.
At being a girl.
Yeah. I'm like, so to please explain further into detail. Well, if I say we're going to eat at Mastro's tonight, that is what we're gonna do. And I'm like, okay, and I will go with that.
Right.
But if you're telling me, hey, the directions are 826 North Westlake, and we're gonna take 10-5 freeways to get to 826 North Westlake, but I know that for a fact to get to 826 North Westlake, we just need to take one freeway, then I'm going to teach you how to like cut that shortcut and be like, oh, look how easy it is. That doesn't make me an alpha to you like that, and that's trying to help us get there faster, quicker, more efficient. And most men that I've dated have a problem with that, because it's like, you're trying to tell me what to do. I'm not trying to tell you what to do, darling. I'm trying to school you so that we both get the result that we want in the most fastest, efficient manner.
Right.
And I have that problem all the time because they're like, no, this is just the toxic masculinity coming out of you. I'm like, sweetheart, there is no masculinity coming
You're
out
like,
of me anywhere.
Suck my toes.
I wish
I'll
there
show
was. I would make a lot of people proud.
There's no
I go, this
masculinity.
is just me being an alpha in general, trying to tell you, I'm not trying to challenge your alpha because I want my man to lead, but I want you to lead me
No, definitely. I
into
do too.
greatness, not into a fucking ditch. Like if you're gonna tell me, oh well, we're gonna go into a ditch today, I'm like, okay, I'm not a fucking lemming. I'm also like
Like, I'm not a pendejita.
no, like I know what I'm doing and I know that that's wrong, so
Right.
I'm gonna stop you. So it's tough. It's tough, and we both want bosses because we have our own empires that we're still growing. You know what
No,
I'm
but
saying?
that is interesting because we're talking about masculine and feminine energies.
Absolutely.
Because I find like now that like I'm back on the dating scene, right? And I'm in the social media world, and I have other social media guys that hitting me up. And mind you, like, shit, I want to say 80% of most of my dates, I can verify, like, I will bet thousands of dollars that half these guys, not even 80% of these guys were bisexual. Like, they were, I don't mind like a pretty boy, but like, don't act like a woman. Like, don't be more sensitive than me. Do you know what I mean? Like, at the end of the day, like, if I'm like telling you, oh my God, motherfucker, like, shut the fuck up, you're being a little crybaby, like, don't be that at the end of the day. Which, it's not like saying anything is wrong with that, but I just feel like I said, like, I want to be with somebody who's very masculine.
Correct.
So whether it's a lesbian, right? So I find when I deal with lesbians, I was always like very like cornrows, tattooed, very masculine energies. And when I date men, it always seems like I end up back to like gangster kind of like prison cholos.
Mongols.
Like almost like I need a masculine energy. I need somebody that can take control and be a man. Because at the end of the day, like, I want to cook. I want to clean. Like, I want to raise the kids. Like, I still want to, like, let's build our company together. Let's build our business together. Like, let's make our money. But at the end of the day, like, if you're like, if I'm fucking up, I need you to be like, bitch, sit the fuck down. I'll be like,
Correct.
ooh.
And that is a huge turn on.
Oh.
When I'm checked, correct. I am like, okay.
And
yes.
I, honestly, at the end of the day, like, I mean, I don't know if I was just brought up a different time era, but like, with my mom and everything is, if a man tells me, like, first of all, I just know don't fight with a man ever in public. So if it's about an argument to go on, I'd be like, okay, what happened? Shh, I'll sit down. I'll be quiet. Not because I'm not trying to, like, stand my ground, but at the end of the day, it's like, our business, and we're going to take it behind closed doors.
Do you believe the same
and
thing?
we'll discuss it later.
Talk in private, not fight in public.
Yes. Well, I mean, that's mandatory because, I mean, you never want to make a scene in front of, you don't want people to know your business, period.
See,
that's why my phone's over there, and that's why I don't have social media. I'm like
See, when my ex
I'm like Bigfoot. I'm like Sasquatch.
Got it.
They know I
Your boyfriend,
exist.
Big Daddy to Sasquatch. I like
They
this.
know I exist. They just don't know where to find me.
Got it.
Right? Then I love it. I love it. I love
See,
it.
when my ex-boyfriends used to tell me, "Don't make a scene," I'm like, "Okay, bitch, action."
This is the
I'm going
problem.
to let you know how you made me feel.
This is the problem. This is the problem with what I think what you're saying about men nowadays and how feminine they are.
Right.
They didn't grow up in an era of where you had to actually engage in what you needed to do. Now, because
Right.
of social media, I could go stand in front of a car, not my car, it could be a Rolls Royce, take a fucking flick,
this is
and
good.
somebody will like it. Somebody will say, "Wow, that's a bit," and I could play along with it.
So it's perception.
Okay, yeah, exactly. Now, getting back to my era, it was proving yourself. It was learning how to be a man. If you didn't prove yourself, you were no longer welcome in that circle. You were known as a punk. You were known as somebody who couldn't actually.
Provide.
No, it's not providing. It's you couldn't write that check.
Oh yeah.
Right? You couldn't write the check. And those guys are gone now, and it's sad. It's sad. Like you said, you want an alpha male. The alpha males that I knew were, I mean, you couldn't get away with half the shit that men do nowadays.
Hell no.
You know, there was no violence against women as far as beating them, or, I mean, rape or anything like that.
Imagine?
They got dealt with. Anybody who brought up anything to do with crimes against
Or
women or
kids.
kids.
Right.
Oh, I mean,
no.
we were raising our hands tall. Where
Where they
Yeah,
at?
where they
Where
at?
they at? Where
You know,
they at?
but now it just seems like, you know, even like this. There was my nephew, right? For example, there was a kid with rainbow hair that rapped with numbers all over his face. I don't know what the fuck his name
We ain't
is.
trying to give no shout outs over here.
Yeah, but and he was saying like, "Hey,
That
uncle,
person.
look how gangster, look how gangster." I said, "No, that motherfucker's gonna snitch. He's running around. Why would you want to show all the? Don't show a person like me with all kinds of money. That's a bad move. You know,
Right.
You know, it just. So, anyways, yeah, sure enough, he gets busted. Make a long story short, he gets busted and, you know, snitches on everybody, right? So it goes to prove my point. You can have this persona with this false fascination and this whole, you know, media shit. But yeah, let the feds sit you in the corner. Let them sit you in the corner and tell you we're going to give you 35 fucking years. Then you'll see the alpha male say, you know what? I got nothing to
Alpha
say.
now.
Take me to my cell. We'll figure it out. We'll have the guy in the black fucking cloak talking. Fuck you and your mother. Take me to my cell.
Right.
You know? But that's the difference now. And I see it now that getting back to what you're saying about men, because we're on this whole, you know, trip about men and how they are today. I
Yeah.
don't care how many fucking tattoos. I know guys that have 0 tattoos that are stone cold killers. And I got guys that have fucking tattoos all over
Where
their
are they?
body. No, but they have tattoos all over their body.
And they'll snitch on you in 2.5 seconds.
And they'll hide behind a woman when fucking shit's going on. I'm going, what the fuck's going on here? You know? I mean, so, yeah, I mean, are you guys going to have trouble finding alpha males? Abso-fucking-lutely.
Absolutely.
But, you know, I mean, fuck. I mean, get some shovels and picks. There's a few of them at the fucking graveyard. Just dig them up, you know? Right?
That, or they're in Corcoran, or
Yeah.
where else?
But even okay, here, okay,
Where
so
are some other
okay.
high security prisons?
Wait, no, hold on. Let's talk about that. If you want to talk about that, back in the days it was like that. Now in prison there's more. Yeah, well, not only that, but there's more yards that are bad, right, than there are good. You know, so you have yeah. Are you guys gonna have a hard time finding it? Fuck yeah, that's all I gotta say. Oh, you guys are gonna have a hard time finding fucking.
That's why you're here, Big Daddy. Just let you know.
Well, I was gonna talk because I have a mechanical background. I was actually gonna talk about transmissions because we were getting into trans.
Okay.
So I was gonna talk about
Oh.
trans. Yeah, I have a
Let's talk-
mechanical.
let's talk about the
I was gonna
transmissions.
talk about transmissions.
Let
I was
me
talking
know
about
how
trans.
we can take a 7-incher to
So
a 12-incher, please.
so you know, I mean, fuck
We
it.
need
They have
that right now.
shafts. They have different gears. I mean, fuck it.
Imagine-
I was gonna jump right into it. I mean,
Trev,
Yeah.
imagine if you came up with a device that could take you from 6 into 12 inches. That motherfucker would sound like a motherfucker. We
I
could
just
make
I
things.
just get that hammer. Where's the hammer at?
You
Did you have the
design
hammer?
it, I'll promote it, and we
And the
fucking
rest
promote the
is history.
shit out of that.
Just hit it a few times with that hammer. Watch it fucking swell up. Fuck it. I don't know. I mean,
Okay.
Jesus.
Okay, would you, right, as a transgender, would you date a trans woman yourself? Not a trans man, because I know you're attracted to men. Okay. So would you date a trans woman?
Well, I'm not gay, so I'm not attracted to women. So I would not date a trans woman. But I would date a trans man because he is masculine, and what I like is men. So yes, I would
Okay.
date a trans man.
Okay, so you're not attracted to women at all?
No.
Not at all. No. It's called, no, they're called transsexuals.
Yeah, she's right. No, she didn't.
Oh.
If they look masculine, yes, I
Yes.
would. Even if they didn't have a penis, yes.
Yes.
Because that's not what I'm attracted to.
Yeah, so she's attracted to men. Even if you're a lesbian or not, like she only wants like very masculine, like you be a man and be about
Facial
what you
hair, like all
Yeah.
that stuff.
Okay. Now, oh, this is a good one. Okay. We were talking about this earlier because I actually have trans. It's a good question. I don't know if they're transgender or transsexual. but I have girlfriends on Instagram that we all, I don't shoot with them, but we're all like in a group of people, and they're super IG famous, but they are transgenders for sure.
Okay.
Not sure about transsexuals.
By the way, did you know that transgender porn is one of the top porn?
Oh, I know. I'm not gonna say how. I'm gonna tell you I know.
Oh, I know too, because I know.
I'm gonna say.
So I'm just saying, you coming from that world, I'm like, you should know that.
No, honestly, like at the end of the day, 2018, I stopped escorting, right? And I tried like the last year, like a few times for like a few like regular people, and it was what it was. But it's interesting is how many times I've been booked for private bookings, and then be like, "Do you know any trans?" And I was just like, "That's pretty fucking crazy." Cause I'm gonna say like, instead of 100 men, I probably had 40 men ask. That's a high fucking percentage. Like you're not just trying to fuck me. Like you're asking for something that's not even in my category.
Right. Now, okay, we'll get into that later.
And that's actually a huge fantasy. But I find this is the few men that I have found who have been the most masculine, most CEO, billionaire, millionaires running multiple motherfucking companies. At the end of the day, is they want to be the beta.
Submissive.
Yes. At the end of the day, they want to be dominated.
That's,
so they're trying to find the girl that's like gonna make them come out of their world,
the dominant,
into like their own little special world.
Yeah, but that's where we get fetishized, and that's where it fucks us up.
Yeah. No. So that makes complete sense when you said that, because I was thinking like I know somebody I could name, but at the end of the day, like I get that, because I've literally had that happen so many times, and I'm literally like, so are you gay? Are you straight? Like, what are we doing? Like,
well, now you know, based off of the answers I gave you earlier, what they are.
Right. Okay, so you would not date a trans man.
I would date
no, you would not date a trans woman.
Correct.
A trans man. Okay, so you would not date anybody that had a penis.
I never said that.
Oh no, I was asking.
Wait, what?
Would you date anybody with a penis?
Of course. I like
you would.
men. I'm like, wait,
Okay.
what? I think you're confused. I'm like,
no, I am
what?
confused. That's what I'm trying to figure out. Okay, you date anybody with a man. So if a woman identifies as a man, you would date her.
Absolutely.
Even without a penis.
Correct.
But if she had a vagina, but she, like everything else, like you said, looks like a man on the outside, facial hair, all that, they were thinking,
Hormones.
But when it came down to the nitty-gritty, she still had a vagina. He still had.
Thank you for the right pronouns. Correct. Still date him. Yes, I would. And I've actually, without saying his name because he is social media famous, I actually have dated someone like that. Mm-hmm.
Well, let's compare phone numbers. Got a whole fucking list of motherfuckers on my
Same,
list.
bitch. Look
To
at my
this day, I
DMs.
tell Jasmine I know he's fucking bi or gay perp.
You guys reiterate what I said?
Oh, I think
I'll
we kind
let
of
you do
I
it.
think we kind of they already covered it earlier before you came. Okay.
Give her a mic.
Okay. Ready? What is the right time as being trans? Okay, so you being like okay, and you're still with your manly parts.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, what is the right time for you to disclose to a straight man that you're trans?
That's a great question.
Ooh.
So,
Right?
so I'm glad that you asked that. Whoever wrote that
Me
is
too.
smart.
Because I swear to God, I feel like I've had this conversation so many
Yes,
times.
and I've had this conversation a lot with my cisgendered girls, which I don't know if you know this, but you are cisgendered. Cisgendered is someone that is biologically born with a uterus at birth. So you, her, and her
Yes,
are cisgendered.
yeah.
So I have this conversation with my cisgendered women friends all the time because they feel the same. They've asked all the time, like, when is the right time for you to say it? To me, I don't feel like I need to wave a trans flag and say, hello. You know, like, I don't have to do that. I don't think I need to, like, off bat say, hi, nice to meet you. I'm Tony and I'm trans. Like, that's not what it is. To me, it's more like if the person, especially a man, is interested in something more intimate, then it's up to me to decide, and only me, not my girlfriends, that or my like anybody, to disclose that information.
shit.
I feel like any girl, any trans or cisgender girl that, or even male friends that decides to
Disclose
push my
your-
information onto a guy that is interested is a hater. I literally see him as that. It's like, you think that I'm
Oh,
competition,
wow.
and I think that's whack because I'm not. Like if you invited me to a party and one of your friends, say him, introduce himself, and I'm like, "Hi, nice to meet you." We're just having a dialogue. It doesn't have to be sexual.
Big
It doesn't
Daddy.
have to be. It doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to
Daddy
be
over
anything
there.
like that. He's just literally engaging because he's being polite and nice, and I'm being myself as well. Once the boundary of, okay, he's showing more deep interest is being expressed, then that's when I feel like, okay, I'm going to pull him to the side, say, just so you know, this is who I am and this is what I am, so that then he can make that decision if he wants to move forward or not. And I would say 7 out of 10 guys that I've had that encounter with move forward, and the other 3,
7 out of 10.
and I would
Okay,
say,
you guys, hold on.
so it's
Can we get
70% of
can
the
we get a
men.
close-up of me real quick? It's on. Okay, so here's 10 guys. She's saying 7 out of 10 guys
move forward.
move forward. That means only 3 guys.
30%.
30% out of all of them are not okay with it.
And
Hence,
and that's just
thank you
my
to all my
experience.
girlfriends that I've ever said that motherfucker's bisexual. I know he was.
You feeling it and you just on that vibe with that person, it's just different. Like,
Exact. It's
nothing's
it could.
gonna change that. It's just like,
No.
fuck with you for the long run. Like,
And girls like me have to be extremely careful in those cases because there are some women, trans women, that don't disclose their information up front.
Yes.
Then they get murdered. They get decapitated. They
Right.
end up in a ditch. And it's like, those girls, I'm just like, sis, if you would have just been real about your tea, then we would not be even having this situation, you know? And I always, because, you know, now I'm on OnlyFans and stuff like that, and I obviously have dates that I meet, and I'm like, okay, so
all over the place, woman. With that beautiful body of yours.
I disclose what it is because I don't want any blurred lines. I
Right.
want it to be crystal clear as to who and what I am. And if you want to move forward, then we can. And if you don't, then we don't need to. But at least I told you up front what it is.
So I have a question because obviously, like, you know, there's a lot of transsexual, not transgender, sorry, transsexual women on IG. And at the end of the day, like a lot of the IG guys I've heard of, at some point I met these hot girls, hung out with, met them, hung out with them, right? And then later on, we're like, you know, at the end of the night, we're like, hey, like, come back to my place. And they were like, not really sure if I could or whatever. And, you know, I honestly want to say a lot of guys I know, at some point they're in Thailand or where they've been, is they made out with somebody they thought was a girl and it wasn't. And so
It
at
wasn't
that
a
point,
cisgender girl. It was
so-
a transgender girl.
Okay,
Correct.
transgender, or maybe, but I also know transsexual girls is, like you said, like at what point, right, do you say, hey, like, maybe I am transsexual, like my full-on surgery has been done and everything, but at what point do I tell a straight man who, you know, like, he lives as a straight man, like he, like maybe like he's from a gang or from a certain neighborhood where like they're really strict on like, you know, you're not trying to look a certain way, and for me to say, hey, like before we go to kissing or before we go to sleeping together, like when is it at that point is it disclosure? Because I found that there's been a lot of disclosures coming after the act has happened.
Well, yeah, and that's where I don't agree with. I don't.
Yeah.
I just said, like, I think before any form of intimacy, I think kissing is intimacy. I think touching is intimacy. So once there is a mutual attraction to someone, I think they should be informed as to what it is, so that there is no if, ands, or buts about it later. Like, it's like you knew from jump, and I can say that about a lot of celebs and athletes that I've had encounters with. The same thing. It's like they pretend to, like, you know, oh, I didn't know. No, you knew.
knew.
And you knew is that's the reason why you
You
came at
knew.
me the way you came at me, and that's why we're here. And that's why you're here
Trev, what are you
again
thinking?
and
Go.
again
I'm just-
and again.
No, when she says like, you know, celebrity, I mean, yeah, I mean, you know, I mean, it's
They're out there.
I'm not doubting it. I mean,
Oh, there's a lot of them. I'm
there's-
telling you.
Well, I just,
so many.
it's you know, I'm not.
We're forced
I'm
to
not-
sign NDAs and all kind of waivers before meeting them, but
Okay, go ahead. Go.
give her a mic.
Go ahead. I'll repeat it. Trev, let's say you're at a bar somewhere and you find this beautiful woman that you're attracted to. She looks like me. You're vibing. No, seriously though. You get down to it. You know you're gonna want to hook up with her because you're attracted. Not trying to offend. But then I said, like I said, hey, like I'm a woman. I've transitioned. Everything's cut off. And I have like a slit, you know, like for a woman. And I told you at that point. Like,
Are you
before
talking
it's
about post
to happen.
or pre-op? Because there's two different.
Pre-op? Oh,
Like,
post,
okay.
after. So after surgery, like
Okay.
lives as transsexual, a woman, looks as a woman. And mind you, there's no penis, no nothing. Like they literally live their entire life. Would you be angry or would you just walk away? Or would you still explore?
Yeah, I wouldn't explore just because it's just not me.
Right.
But I
And
would.
that's fair.
Yeah, I
want
wouldn't.
everyone to
I
know-
mean,
I want everyone watching
it's-
to know that that's fair.
Yeah, I mean, you know, yeah, that wouldn't. I mean, I couldn't go through with it if that's, you know, yeah.
So we're asking him if he knew if it was a woman, a man, who just as a woman. Yeah, he's saying he wouldn't fuck with him.
No, and once again, if you're at a bar and somebody beautiful approaches you, there's no way. I mean, if a woman who was a man that approached you, how many guys can really say I knew that was a woman? Right? None, right?
None. I'm telling you.
So how? I mean,
All my
has it?
homies
Has
have
it?
been fooled so many times.
Yeah, you know, I mean, I can remember being at clubs, you know, Peppers and all these other clubs back in the days, you know,
Peppers,
yeah,
I
you know, back in
Peppers.
the days, you know, and
Did not bring me back
Florentine
to
Gardens
those
and all that shit, you know, I mean,
Did you ever go to Arena?
did I go to the arena?
I'm sure you did.
Maybe.
You went to
I don't
Florentine
remember.
Gardens. Stacy Hollywood.
It was something Sundays.
Strawberry
Ah,
Sundays.
shit.
What was it called?
Strawberry
I
Sundays.
went to Baja
Was it?
Sundays.
Strawberry Sundays.
Strawberry Sundays? Do you remember Strawberry Sundays?
Oh, shit, I
It
don't
was on
remember.
Sunday nights. Because I know I was under 18. So on Sundays at the arena, we were allowed there under 18.
Maybe. I mean, I mean, the Palace and all that shit. No, with all those clubs and me partying and drinking, has somebody? And now, once again, I'm totally confused if I say transgenders. I mean, I don't know.
Right.
I could have been talking to them, but you know, if they, I don't know. I mean, anybody could have, but if I know, no. I mean, I couldn't. I
Right.
couldn't. Yeah, there's just no way.
Right,
There's
and
no
that's
way.
like I said, it's perception.
absolutely,
So it is what it
absolutely.
is.
You know.
Do you think pussy is power? Jasmine is asking.
Is that for me? Is that question for me?
Is that for him?
Do I think
Pussy
pussy
is
is power?
What? I mean, I'm a little confused.
I know how to interpret
Look,
it, but I'll let him answer.
all I
I'm
know,
confused
all I
by
know
that.
is that look, when I'm young, since I was young, I've always been attracted to women. I've never looked at, you know, even when I was in the joint, I never looked, and there was guys in the yard that were I knew
Feminine?
solid dudes that
Wait,
were.
I know solid dudes as well that were
Yeah.
in there that some guys look like women, and the 4 or 5 years in, we're like.
I knew solid dudes that I didn't know.
would get a blowjob every now and then by them because they look
yeah,
good.
see, I knew solid dudes in there that I didn't know, but when they were out here, no, they were, you
Yeah.
know, they
I
they
do
were
too.
gay,
I
you
do
know.
too. Yeah, yeah.
But it didn't change the way I felt about them. You know, I'm like,
Oh,
oh,
no,
that's
wait,
your,
that
that's
I
you know,
didn't know, yeah.
in there it's different. But I'm
Yeah,
just
yeah, yeah.
saying, I've never been. Does it bother me? No. I mean, if anybody can do whatever they want, it's like, once again, it's not my
Right,
choice.
yeah.
But I've always been attracted to females. I've never looked at any gender aside from females to say that's what attracts me. You know, and
Right.
no, once again, was I in the joint and showering with men naked with, you know, balls and asses everywhere? Of course. But I mean, does that
And
does
you're-
that consider me
and-
gay? Well, fuck, I don't know. I mean, I didn't. I mean, I.
Did your wee wee get hard
Why
at
would
any
it be
time?
gay?
No,
if
it
you-
wouldn't.
right.
Yeah,
That-
no, it
that makes
didn't. But
no
I mean,
sense.
but think about that. a shower full of hardcore convicts, showering together. I mean,
That's every gay boy's fantasy.
Well, that's.
Gay
But
boys
yeah, I mean,
fantasy.
I've
But we're
never.
not gay boys over
Yeah,
here.
I've never.
Right.
I've only been.
Hey.
Do a lot of gay people go to prison?
Yes, we have a whole
Wait,
LGBT people.
Honestly, I will say when I had my first girl lesbian experience
You
was,
weren't gay yet, though. But was she already gay?
but she hasn't been to jail.
No, I'm sorry. Your experience of being like double.
Yes, she lived as a tomboy lesbian. She was from I think 18th Street.
And I think that leads you to the next question about nature
Okay.
versus nurture.
Oh, I don't even know what that meant. I was gonna skip that because I didn't know what that meant. Okay,
Well,
we're gonna go there.
what she touched is
Okay,
basically
so-
what you said.
Do you believe in nurture versus nature and why? And I have no idea what this means.
Okay, so I'll explain it. The way she just explained it. She said, was the girl that you hooked up with gay prior to you guys hooking up, or
Right.
was she gay before? So nature versus nurture basically believes I in my heart of hearts believe that I was born this way from jump.
Okay.
I've never experienced masculine energy from jump.
Right.
Hence why I was bullied and picked on my entire life.
Right.
So I believe that this is my nature. Some people believe that they decide to make the jump, the transition, because of their nurture, how they were brought up, how their upbringing, they were raped, they were molested, all this other stuff. I do believe what I believe
Out of circumstance.
out of circumstances,
Not
correct.
choice.
No, not
They
born,
weren't
not
born
bred,
with it.
not bred.
Oh, I talk about this. I
This
didn't
is
know
what
that's what it was
this
called.
is what nature versus nurture is.
Ooh, this
So,
is good, Jazzy.
This is why I'm asking. This is why I'm saying this.
This is really good.
I'm saying this. I believe that I don't believe in nature versus nurture. I believe it's a case by case situation
Ooh,
because
this is
like she just touched on,
good.
if the woman never had experienced a woman on woman interaction prior to you, then that's nurture.
Right.
That's not nature.
She wasn't. She didn't.
No,
she wasn't
she's
born
not
with
like-
the feeling of
no.
I'm attracted
To
to women.
females,
I want to be
correct.
with women. Nature. It was since I was little. I've been
Then-
attracted to
so
women.
then nature.
Yeah.
Then that's nature. Myself, nature. I know a lot of people that have been molested and raped as kids and early adolescents,
Oh, this is
and
so
they grow up to be
good.
straight and heterosexual, and they're still attracted to the opposite sex. So, like I said, I don't think. I believe, like the question asked, do I believe
Right.
in nature versus nurture? I
Shit,
don't
that
believe
is
in
so
either.
good.
I believe that
I've
it's a
never heard that
case
before.
by case situation because I'm not one to judge someone getting raped at an adolescent age or someone that was born and feels like they were born in the wrong body.
No, honestly, because in the lesbian world, because I've been there, so I could vouch for that. is I've obviously been with a lot of tomboys, right? Because I'm attracted to a masculine energy, and there's times where they're like, you can't enter me, you can't put your fingers inside me, you can't lick me, you can't touch me, and I'm like, at the end of the day, like, well, how the fuck are you gonna get off? And the interesting thing is this: is what I found is every one of those people have all had some traumatic experience as a child with the male sexually. So
it's
my
nurtured.
question was, are you really gay? Or honestly, at the end of the day, right? Because if that event didn't happen in their life, would they be dating a man? Or is it because a man violated them that now they have this trauma issue of no, like
Which proves
all
my point.
men are all
Which
men.
proves my point that it's a case by case situation, and that neither you,
Yes.
myself, or anybody in the world can say, "Oh, this is nature. Oh, this is nurture." No, it's a case by case situation.
That's what I always ask people too. I always at the end of the day, like if I meet somebody bisexual or gay, I'm like, were you born with it? Like in preschool, were you like looking at the girl across the room when you're a girl? You're like, yeah, I'm gonna go grind on her. Or you're looking at Peter across the room.
But
You're like,
let's-
hey Peter, like I'm gonna go
Let's-
grind on you.
Now
like,
let's touch on that.
Yeah.
So you said you were attracted to women at a young age,
Very
correct?
young, yes.
Okay, but at how young? We're talking like 4 years old, 5 years
Preschool,
old.
yeah,
okay,
4 or 5, yeah.
And I'm in the same boat as you because my mother put me through therapy at 5, purposely because she was like, my child is different, and I'm like, we have this discussion to this day. I'm like, had not pushed me to therapy so much, I would have done all this way sooner because all you did was push me into the opposite
wow.
direction because I felt like what I felt inside was wrong. But meanwhile, I'm 5 years old in preschool and I'm obsessed with a Little Mermaid because I think I'm her. And I gravitate to a boy named Eric in my preschool and I'm like, oh, he's hot and he's my Prince Eric. Oh my God. And then it's weird because he'll put his hand on my leg, or like touch me and caress. Like, not even, it's not sexual, because at that age we're not thinking sexual.
No, of course not.
But why is it that when
sexual to you.
when he brushes up against me, or when he like touches me, or he calls my name, or like even touches my hand, I'm just like,
It feels funny.
It
tingles down
weird.
there.
Yes,
It
everything.
tingles
And
down
I've
there.
explained this to my mother many times. I'm like, had you opened the dialogue, I would have been like, Mom, I feel like this, and
Right.
I don't feel like I was born in the right body, and I like Eric, but I like Eric beyond this. I like Eric because I feel like I want to be with Eric, and it's not necessarily sexual. It was more just like, I like holding his hand.
feel safe.
Let's go to lunch together. This is cool.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? So it's a question, and I envy a lot of the parents nowadays, because they come to me. I can't tell you how many social media moms and dads I get on social media that are like, so my kid thinks that you're amazing, so does that make them? And I'm like, listen, that doesn't make them anything. Just listen to what they're telling you and pay attention. Read between the lines, because I'm not a doctor, I'm not a therapist, I'm not a counselor. I'm not here to tell you, yes, embrace them, or no, don't do that. It's more or less like, how about you just listen to what they're telling you and go by that. And if they're telling you, Mom, I identify as this, Dad, I identify as this, at the end of the day, that doesn't make them less your child. Just embrace them. And I thank my mom to this day, because I'm like, you never shunned me out, even when the going got tough. You shunned me out for other shit that I did that was wrong, but not for, my lifestyle.
Right. I think that says a lot as a mom, because I felt as a mom personally, like, I don't judge a lot, but I feel like I'm so tough love is like, I'm going to maybe be judgmental on certain things that I'm like, I'm just protective. Like,
Of course.
I don't want anybody to hurt
You're
you
a
or do
mom.
this, boom. But
You're a
other things,
nurturer.
I'm like, go ahead, be you. Like,
Right.
la, 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 la,
Explore
la.
that.
Like, yeah. So I feel that that's a whole mom thing. Okay, so let's go to the next question.
I think Jazz had a question too, right?
Yeah, I think you covered the last one. I was gonna ask when you know that you were,
Me?
attracted to any trans
You want to sit with me, huh? Come sit with me. You wanna come? Come on, why not? You sure? Come.
She wants to ask off camera.
Come sit with me if you want to come. Come on. Okay, dokie. Okay,
Well, we can ask Trevelyan this. What is
Trevelyan.
I already asked him about his kid. We asked him.
I support my kids.
And I love him for saying that.
100%.
That is the right answer.
Yeah,
Male
tell her.
or female, I got all daughters, but if my son came to me and said, "Hey, you know what? I'm attracted to the same," or hey, I gotta be supportive. I'd be a fucking idiot not to be. You know what I'm saying? I'd be a
yes.
fucking idiot.
Do you know how happy that makes me?
Preach.
That makes my heart so warm. It just, thank you for that.
It's true.
guys, a lot of guys, men wouldn't say that.
No.
They wouldn't.
Well, they're fucking idiots.
Yeah, they wouldn't.
Or they're thinking
Idiots.
about, what are my homies gonna say? What are my friends gonna say?
If everybody was so worried about what everybody else was saying, then you might as well just fucking stand
off
in
a
line.
cliff.
Yeah, no, just stand in line like you're at the fucking auto parts store and
Or
wait
go
for your
live
number
like a
to get
little
called.
cave and don't come out of your cave ever in your whole
It's
fucking
just
life.
stupid,
Like,
you know what I mean?
You don't want to be like
there's no
judged.
way it's no way to live life to try and have this persona or this facade
Or
that-
shelter who your kid is.
Yeah,
Like,
and
that's
I'm some
stupid.
tough guy. I'm this and that. That has. If my father was he was a mean motherfucker, and he wouldn't if I would have went to my father and said something like that, I knew I would have got my ass whooped, right? I mean, it was just a beating off the top. But to me, that's a waste of fucking time. Even though he was tough, you can be somebody tough. You can stand up for yourself. You can be, you can go, you get in the ring and be a boxer. You can do jujitsu. To tell you the truth here, I'm going to tell you a story.
Yeah.
I watched a documentary about, this is a while ago. It's about a Thai kickboxer that wanted to have a sex change. It was a guy, and he fucked everybody up. He would knock fools out and then he would kiss them. And people wouldn't. Yeah, it's a documentary. I swear to God, it's a documentary. No, and he got the sex change, right? So he was a kickboxer, and he would. People were like, I don't want to fight him because he's gay.
He's
right?
gonna kiss me after.
And
he's gonna win every
He
game.
would. Yeah, he did. He went undefeated. He won enough money to get his sex change. Fucked everybody up.
It's very expensive, so.
Yeah, well, I guess in Thailand it's cheaper, right?
It is very cheaper there.
Oh, I don't know. No. This is a kickboxer in Thailand, but
Shout out to Oscar.
But it was a documentary, and to me, I'm like, well, shit. I mean, if you're tough, you don't have to prove. I mean, it's nothing to prove. It's like a.
Who you're attracted to doesn't make it any less of who you are.
I'm gonna share a story with you.
Go ahead.
I mean, wait.
There-
I'm not. I'm gonna say. Oh God, help me in trouble. But I feel it does. So at the end of the day, is if I want to date a man, like I want a man who only wants like a woman. So at the end of the day, like if I'm like,
So you would never date a bisexual man?
no,
But wait, no. Here's a better question.
no.
But
I can probably tag 80% of the guys in the last 10 years
wait.
as it.
But would you date I think you have dated a bisexual woman. So why does the gender roles play a big difference into that?
Masculinity. Because I feel as a
But
woman.
a bisexual woman is not masculine. She's feminine. She's fluid. So therefore, why is it okay for you to date a bisexual woman that's fluid and not a bisexual man that's hold on, let me finish it.
Okay.
Not just a bisexual man
Okay.
but I want you to know this. A
Okay.
bisexual man that's fluid and honest about it and say, "Hey, D, guess what? I date both male and females. And you should know that, but I'm attracted to you at the moment." So is there a difference in
yeah,
that?
there's a huge
it's a
difference.
stigma?
I could have already told you. I will tell you all the time. I'll be in the date number 1. When I come home, I'll be like, he's bisexual. Jasmine, how many times have I said that? 100 times. All the time. No.
That's
We're not
not-
about that. No,
that has
I'm not
nothing
even going there.
to
Wait, that has nothing to do
do
with this. That has nothing.
with sexuality.
No, yeah. But that has
Because
nothing
I
to
know
do with
a lot
that
of
part.
straight
I'm
guys
just saying
that
in
I've
general.
never been intimate with
Like,
that
I feel
love
like
that.
in general, on my first date with a guy, I will know whether he's bi or not. Just period. And I think it has to do with the masculine and feminine energy. But at the end of the day, honestly, I want a man who's like, I'm a man and I only date women and like this is like what I'm about. And I don't want a man that wants another man. Because I'm gonna look at you as you're not masculine.
Got it.
You're
So
not the
it-
masculine
it
energy.
demasculates. Got
like,
it.
If you're gonna have another man out-masculate you, I'm gonna out-masculate you real quick, bro. Like, I'm gonna open your car door and be like, you're gonna call me daddy tonight. And I'll do that real quick.
But I feel like that's a turn on for you.
It's not. Are you kidding me?
Like you being an
Hell
alpha,
no.
but you're an alpha.
Alpha doesn't mean I want to be alpha in bed.
Okay, so
Shit,
we're
you
the
better tell my ass to fuck down.
we're in the same boat when it comes to that.
Right?
The story I was gonna share is
Like,
that
I'm trying to be I want to be feminine. Like, I want to be sexy. Like, I don't want to be like, yeah, motherfucker, you just fuck down, bitch.
no, the story
That's
that I was going to share with
weird.
you is that one of my clients that I work with and on the Fashion Point is a very famous athlete, a basketball player, world renowned. Everybody in this room would know if I said his name, but I'm not going to keep this whole thing private. So his son, his only son, at a very early age, I met him at 14, and he was like, "I don't know what or who I am, but I see you and I am gravitated towards your energy." And even his own mother was like, he loves you. Like, I don't know what it is about you, but he like wants to be around you. And I'm like, that's fine. I naturally am close with kids, and I consider that person a kid at the time. So when we finally had our one-on-one, that kid and I they had another they have a celebrity friend in that I'm friends with as well, who their child had a sweet 16. And I helped plan it and dress them for it and whatever. So at that party, he pulled me to the side and was like, "I wish I could be you and just live like you and be happy like you." And I'm like, I told him that day, I said, "One day your day will come where you will not care what anybody in this room thinks
of
about
you.
you. And you will own it." I go, and you will own it. Because I go, I think you want to be me because of the clothes and the shoes and the bands. I was like, mind you, your mother has an exquisite closet. I've been in it, and I'm here
Matter
for
of
it.
fact, take me to the
so
closet
I'm
with
like,
you.
so I know exactly what you mean. I go, but my fabulousness lives in you. I go, and as soon as you find, whether it be a him or a her, in you, then that's when you'll live your truth. I was so happy that 2 years later, I saw him on TMZ. He still identifies as him on TMZ and is out there living his truth, has his own reality show, doing his thing. And I think that it's so amazing because it's like, his dad, like I said, is still a huge alpha sports figure that everybody's like, yo, that is so and so, and his son is out there being a faggot. That's what I hear all the time, and I'm just like, his son's out there being a faggot, but guess what? His father sees him as his son and has never shunned him, as opposite, actually supports everything that his faggot son does. And not only that, but co-signs it, and his son has now made a whole new name and brand for himself, where he is now like up there with the Kardashians. And like, I think that's so epic, because now when we see each other, I tell that person, I'm like, look how far you came from not knowing who you were to owning who you are, and now you're not only that, but now your mom and dad are on the same playing field as you, and you like broke the odds, because you were supposed to follow your dad's footsteps, be an athlete and do all this stuff, and you're not. That's not who you are, and that's okay.
On that note,
sorry, I just wanted to share
Actually,
that story.
No,
with you.
it's fear based, right?
Right. It's
So
very much
you
fear-based.
only have two emotions. You have love and fear.
Correct.
So it's fear based. When anybody lashes out and whether it be racial, whether it be, it's called homophobic.
Correct.
Yeah, I'm
No,
bad.
no, you got it. You got
Yeah,
it.
because I don't know these.
Thank you for being so respectful.
Well,
and
the
yes,
reason
thank
being
you.
is because I don't pay attention to it, because
No.
I don't bother people.
Right.
I just let people
But
be
that's
who they
the
are.
correct
Right.
term. Correct.
So, being that or that's all fear based.
I keep
That's
telling people
fear-based.
that
Because
people,
everything-
it's ignorance. People that don't know.
Well, ignorance falls under fear-based. So you
Right.
have you have a line down the
Right.
middle. You have fear on the left side or the right side. However you
Correct.
want to do it, and the other side's love.
Correct.
And everything just drops down below that,
Correct.
right?
It's
Yeah.
So
it's
if
not
you,
knowing.
But that's back to what I say. I simplify everything.
That's
right?
why I wanted to share that story with you.
But it's all simplified.
Correct.
So when I hear somebody say something that's racial or bad, I go, you know what? That's a scared person.
Right.
When I see somebody how tough they are, or
That's
somebody, and
good.
I could, or me even telling somebody, hey man, you did a good job. I love you. And somebody goes, damn, I would never hear you say that. I go, well, I'm not afraid of it.
Correct.
It's love, right?
Ooh.
And that's what it is.
I'm
That's what it
telling
is.
you, you have no idea.
That's what it
Awesome.
is. So with that being said, ignorance will fall under the category of fear, because that person's fearful of whatever it is.
Correct.
Right.
They're fearful of not letting that person be who they are. They're fearful of not of what that other person can accomplish, knowing that they have chosen a different path.
Correct.
Right?
And mind you, I was in meetings listening to that person's father and mother being told by people they pay thousands of dollars, like public people PR, telling them, "Oh, your son cannot do that. Your son should you need to
They
shy
have
away
to
from that."
portray a certain image
Yeah.
for social media, and you got to keep it this way.
And here I
Whether
am.
we have to hire an actress to pretend they marry you
Correct.
to keep your gayness under the radar.
And I'm on the opposite end of the table saying, you're absolutely wrong. If you just let them own his truth, he will not only open up a whole new market for them because of the fact that they're a marketable, they are a walking and talking fucking
Of
money making
course.
machine, but
A
now
billboard.
having a son that is openly gay and that is they're being supportive by their mother and father, it's going to be a tremendous catapult for you in my world, because my community is, they are a force to be reckoned with, and that is the truth. Like, we stand by what we stand by, and we will make our mark in any situation. If you say boycott Ben and Jerry's, fuck Ben and Jerry's. We like Ben and Jerry's, but I'm just saying, like, that's how powerful a community we are. So
Why?
It's like,
They don't fuck with you guys?
no, Ben and Jerry's, they do. They're
Oh,
amazing.
I was
No,
like-
we love.
I'm about to post them on my IG.
No.
What
We
the
love
fuck?
Ben and Jerry's. Sorry, I don't mean to say it, but we love.
We love them.
I
Okay,
use
we
it
love
as
them.
an example. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
As long as there's no pecans in the ice cream, we good.
But I said that
We
today with
hella
the whole
good.
masculinity, like.
Okay, so
sports
what
people.
advice would you give someone considering transitioning or struggling with gender identity?
The advice I would give them is to really reflect on everything that they're questioning. Like, do I want to be a woman or a man because of the trends? Because it's now a trend thing. Because a lot of people say that, oh, we're trendy now. No, it's not that. Like, is this who I feel deep, dark inside? Like, this is how I
How I was
identify
born.
and how I was
I
born.
was born,
I've never felt anything else but this. Don't do it because you want to.
Because I know the lesbian world, we always like, oh, they're a drunk lesbian. Like, if she's
correct.
drunk, then she'll want to kiss me. If she's drunk, maybe she'll smash. Like, but the end of the day, it's like I always tell everybody, like, which I share with my daughter and everybody in my family, is since I was a little girl, since I can remember, like being born, like I've always like I remember my dad had these Playboy magazines like in the house. Like he thought it was hidden like in these cupboards, like in the hallway, all at the top level. But you're 4 or 5, I climb all the way up there, like what's up there, what's going on. And
Right.
at the end of the day, like I thought these girls were fucking hot.
Right.
I was turned on by them. Like I remember thinking if I prayed, I really used to pray to God and be like, dear God, please bring this fucking hot girl to my house. Like no idea, knowing like, whether it was this, according to the religion, it was sin or whatever. But all I knew was I saw this shit. I thought it was hot. And ever since I've always liked women and I still have. So at the end of the day, like I always
Till
saw
this day.
women. Yeah. So when I meet lesbians, right? And mind you, they're lesbians that are like, oh, well, I'm masculine, but you can't don't put fingers inside me or don't lick me. And I'm like, so are you lesbian or did you experience something traumatic that you don't want men in your life anymore?
Well, maybe they're lesbians that they are contemplating on the fence of being trans men.
No, they're not at all.
Oh,
At all.
really?
No, yeah,
Oh,
nothing trans men. That I would be like, okay.
You
I can get that.
accept that, right?
Yeah,
right.
because you're saying like trans woman, like
Don't touch my
me
dick.
here because I
Don't
want to
touch my dick.
Like you truly,
Don't touch my dick.
truly are transgender.
Yes.
But lesbians are different.
I have never had where I
okay,
penetrate.
question is, have you ever had sex with a woman
I've never penetrated a girl, but a girl has penetrated me.
with a strap on?
Yeah. And I love it. And it's
Have you had a man? Oh, duh. Hello.
I know.
onlyfans.com swipe. Bitch. So why
Get technical with it.
have I? Of course, girl. No,
Because
no.
at the end of the day, like I've dated like women, like, but I feel like if you weren't born feeling it, maybe I don't know if I'm so much into this. Again, that's me being judgmental, right? Is if you weren't born feeling about women, but later on it came, I feel like because I've gone through to my life coaching for trauma, for life coaching, everything is, I feel a lot of women have experienced molestation or rape at a really young age. That from that moment on, they decided, I will never allow a man to touch me again. So it's not a choice anymore. They made a decision that I want to protect myself, nor do I ever want to replay that trauma that happened. So I'm going to always choose to be women because it's a safe avenue.
So
Don't
this
touch
falls
me down
under
there.
nature versus
Yeah,
nurture
so
again.
don't touch me down there. Don't penetrate me because it's going to bring them back to the traumatic moment that happened in their life. As
Correct.
opposed to me being 4 years old, being like, oh, you're a freaking little cute little blonde girl. Come here. Let's play house in the house. You know what I mean? Like, I genuinely, you know what I mean? As opposed to
Correct.
somebody that's like a little boy who's like, I never wanted to be with a guy. And he grew up, never wanted to be with a guy. Maybe a little boy was born, a little boy, you're like, oh, Peter's really cute over there. You know, like
Right.
you said, so nature versus
Nurture.
Nurture.
Mm-hmm. It just, I guess it all is.
And I talk about this all the time.
A
Like I always say, I
case-by-case
feel like a lot
situation.
of the dyke lesbians or like tomboy lesbians, I'm like, at the end of the day, I feel like my thing is like, A, if you didn't feel it when you were born, it wasn't something natural to you.
So it was nurture.
Like you maybe
Something happened.
Like a lot,
Correct.
and I've talked to a lot of them that were like, don't penetrate me, and I'm like, why wouldn't I? Like, fucking feels good, motherfucker.
That's
Like,
part of the situation.
Let me in. Let me show you how good it feels. They're like, no, and I'm like, oh, okay, like that's beyond like pleasure. And now you're going to some deep shit.
Okay,
You're
so
like, don't touch me there. I'm like, oh,
So,
okay,
we're,
sorry.
so I had the similar situations with
Okay.
men that are like, I want to give you head, and I'm like, no, I don't want you to do that because I don't like that, and they're like, no, come on. I'm like, no. So that now this is where it feels like fetishizing because I thought you liked women, and like you're like want a specific part that a cisgender girl can't give you. So you want to, so I'm a fetish to you. So like that's why, you know, it's so
Right.
funny. I was just telling my friend earlier today because she's a black transgender woman, and she said, "Girl, there's no way in fuck that a trans because I like black men, and I just do. It's just my thing." And she's like, "There's no way any black guy would ever like for real take you seriously because they view us all as a fetish." I refuse to believe that. I do because I feel like even like him, he's open minded about. You know, if his daughters or son would ever like want to
Yeah.
it was what it was. I feel like there is that maybe 1% out of like the 100 that would be like, you know what, I'm cool with this because I've experienced that before with some.
I
of
think
my
there's
guy friends.
more that are than are not. I feel like if there's so many
What do you
guys
mean?
that I'm
To,
like,
like-
for sure they're bisexual. Like,
But I mean, like to
They'd be
like
okay with
fully
that.
like on Instagram, be like, this is my bitch.
No,
or
not
hold
that.
my.
Well,
That's
first
what,
of all, people on
that's what I'm
Instagram,
saying.
period. How many people on Instagram do you know are really fully putting out all their shit? Not very
Not
many.
but the girls that I know that are trans that I have put on their relationships on Instagram, it's either ended in travesty because other girls are haters, or because I didn't want to bring this person up, but I'm not gonna do that. So like,
Okay.
my friend, her name is Eden the Doll. She's trans,
Okay.
and she had a very publicized, scrutinized, YouTube-nized
Relationship.
falling out. Yes, but a relationship with a straight guy, cisgendered straight male. They dated. They had a great relationship. It was what it was. It was publicized through all the social media platforms. Then another bitch that's on, I'm going to call her a bitch because I don't give a fuck. Another bitch that's social media famous, that's a beauty guru, goes
Yeah,
and...
we trying to give it no free shout
No,
outs over
I'm
here.
not doing that. But she ain't shit.
No
No,
free shout
she's
outs.
not.
Is that Benjamin guy is
Come on, how can you not think that? For sure he's bi.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay,
Are you talking about Leanne V's boyfriend?
and she did a YouTube video that they broke up.
I can't confirm or deny. So I'm gonna.
I will confirm it.
Because I know
he
both.
can hit me up about
'Cause
it.
I
I never
know-
even met him, but I can tell by looking in his eye, you way too feminine, motherfucker.
I know Leanne. I've dressed her, and I know Ben, Don.
Not her, but Ben, not her.
I know both of them, and I can't confirm or deny.
I'll confirm it.
However, but
Okay, that's all you need.
But I was
Just, you
saying
know,
is my friend
Mama D knows
Eden-
everything. Just know that.
But my friend Eden, like I said, she dated a guy that she made social media famous, and there's another beauty guru bitch that is horrible. That's a Lucifer incarnate.
Oh wait, I think that's your ex.
that ended up going on a actual brand trip and fighting her and fucking her man, and the brand owner even was the one that was like, oh my god, I can't believe this is happening on my trip. These are brand endorsements are like $40,000 a pop, you know what I'm saying? So it's a lot of money invested. So like this whole thing was, it's still all over YouTube. I'm not gonna mention the bitch's name because I fucking hate her. But what
Yeah,
I'm gonna say,
YouTube,
but what I
Google
will
it.
say this is that I love Eden, and the fact that Eden stood there and said, you know what, I'm at work. She understood that where she was at in that situation,
Right.
current time, she was at work. She was like, I'm getting paid for this. So if my man wants to go and fuck a cisgendered girl and that's his thing, he should go be with her. That person is married and has a whole baby and has a whole situation on YouTube. So she's like, her demise is going to be this whole situation. But I literally sat there and I said, you know what? I side with my queen, because although I was friends with this beauty blogger, I said, you know what? I have to put my standpoint and be an ally to my girl, because it's fucked up that this person did that and now chooses to like fight her at every beauty event that we have. Literally has physically fought this girl just
Wait,
because.
like Instagrammers? Because
Yes.
I don't think I've ever seen two Instagram like
Girl.
they're like so white girlish.
If you Google
like, they don't
Eden the
fight each
doll
other.
and the other person I'm
Like,
talking
you need a
about,
hood bitch to come
you're
in and
going
be
to
like,
see
"What's
this
up? I'll fuck you up."
This beef, even at the Impressions Vanity Party, the event, girl, I'm talking about wigs being pulled, bottoms being shown, vaginas being shown. I have the video. I'll show it to you guys later. But yes, it was definitely like it's on that type of situation. I'm like, okay,
Sounds like Sam's Hofbrow.
it sounds.
It
Yes, it does sound like Sam's
You know where we're
Hofbrow.
going after? Big Daddy?
Let's go.
Do you guys all find it a turn off or a girl who just pops off trying to throw down, kind of just
She's saying, do you find it a turn off? A turn on?
a girl to just want to
A turn off or turn on?
Whatever you're attracted to.
Wait, turn off or turn on?
A turn off.
Do you find it a turn off a girl who always wants to pop off and fight people?
Pop off, not you, but like, let's say you're on a date with someone you really care about.
You're on a date with somebody you really care about,
Without being like, calm down.
and you can't go out on a date with them without them wanting to pop off on somebody. Is that a turn on or a turn off?
I'll let you answer first.
You know, they always want to fight.
They always want to fight.
So if I'm with a girl that always wants to fight, oh, that's a fucking turn off. I mean, fuck, I'm gonna get fucked up with her. What happens? What happens? She's like, I mean, you know how many people?
Because you gotta
You know
back
how
her
many-
up.
you know
At the end
how
of the day,
many-
You gotta back her up.
You know how many people that? I mean, there's some people that scare the shit out of me that wouldn't even fucking. You wouldn't even know that. I mean, they scare the shit out of me. Yeah, I mean, and yeah, because I don't know what the next person's capable of, right?
Right.
So if you don't have the mutual respect for somebody, I don't know what anybody's capable of doing. So I don't want to engage in any kind of confrontation. Now, if I got to defend myself or somebody wants to get in my face, that's a whole different story. But to have somebody that's constantly running their mouth, well, eventually, everybody's a tough guy or girl until they run into one, right? And when they run into one, they're gonna say, okay, there it is. There's my ass whooping. Or they might not even get up. Be one of those ones like, oh shit. And if I'm with a girl that's running her mouth and I don't like it and she gets knocked out, I'm probably gonna get an Uber, take an Uber home, just leave it right there, just like fuck it, right? But it's a total turn off.
I'm not like him. I'm not a confrontational person. So it's like once I see conflict, unless there's a huge a moral reason, like, oh, you should stand up for that person because that person got racism or like a discrimination, then yes, we should speak up. And then if it turns into violence, then I'm still here for it. But if it's just like, oh, I want to pick a fight because you cut in front of me at a movie theater, like, oh no, dude, like, I can't. Like, I just can't.
I feel as a human being, whether I'm male or female, is at this time and age in my life, I'm really seeking peace.
Correct.
I'm really seeking enjoyment. I'm seeking happiness. And I am in charge of creating that in my life.
Correct.
Right? And who I choose to surround myself with, I pick them. Because
Manifestation.
they're helping create the same vision that I'm looking towards.
Correct.
So I wouldn't personally want to hang out with anybody who's always wanting to pick fights.
Even if it's a friend, that's more
if
like...
at the end of the day, like, we're just going to double date somewhere and she's like going to be rude to like the bartender because he didn't put an orange on her drink.
Yeah,
So at the end of the day, like, an orange has nothing to do with your own personal life issues. It doesn't. It really doesn't. What if him not putting orange on your cup had anything to do with your life issues?
Correct.
Like, your life issues had nothing to do with that. At the end of the day, I feel like I'm 44. I've dug with my... I've not even dug. No, I've danced with my demons.
Ooh.
And today we are best friends.
Yes.
So the last thing I need is somebody
It
to
was a lambada, huh?
trigger those demons within me. Because at the end of the day, like, I'm at a whole different level and I'm thinking big. I think outside the box. Like,
This is true. 'Cause
like I'm thinking like I'm traveling the world. Like, where are we gonna go next week? Like, let's make a travel vlog. Like, what company we building? Like, I'm not thinking no little minuscule thing. Like, I'm honestly thinking so big of, like, let's keep the peace. Like, let's build. Let's create. Like, where are we going next week? Let's go to Italy next week, everybody. Let's go.
And this is true, you guys. This is true. I witnessed this with my own eyes and my own experience. I went to Florida with this woman.
Yes.
We're at a bar. These girls were talking shit about her. As soon as she sat down, they were texting each other because they couldn't talk about her in front of her. And I was ready to just fucking knock them out.
She
'Cause
was.
I'm like, you fucking whores. How dare you talk about my friend? And she was like, no. And I'm like, come on, just one. Oh, just one.
like,
Just one little. I would just grab both their heads and be like, shh, and they knocked out. I'm like, oops. I'm sorry, my hands just had a and she was so calm and collected. I was like, she smiled at them. You even offered to buy them drinks, and I was like, spit in them, spit in their cocktails. But I wish I had your discipline because I like you, I want peace, and like you, I want peace. But there are certain times where I'm just like, well, that bitch deserved that because you know what.
I mean, I'm not always a
just
peaceful
being-
person.
No, neither am I.
I'm not always a peaceful
We're talking to
person.
Trev, just so you know.
You know,
I think you know who
the
you're
last
talking to.
thing I want is confrontation.
The last thing I want is conversation.
But if you've ever seen a bull in a china shop, that would be me.
What's the word?
I'm a freight train. It's very
Right.
hard to stop me.
If you want something, we're gonna be something.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
That's how Jazz remembers you when
and
she first
there
met you.
have it. What is your
You're next.
Oh shit! I don't want to know.
She's like, wait. I'm all, wait. I'm all, I do. Please.
If I was into fisting, I'd be like, me too. You heard me? I said if I was into fisting, I'd be like, me too. I'm like, go.
Where does it
Where do we sign up? Where do we sign up?
What was your next question?
Okay, next question. So let's keep going. Okay, so we'll close it up. Okay. Do you feel like this competition?
You should ask that. That's a good question.
Which one?
Do you feel like it's a competition between cisgender and trans girls?
Okay, so so good question.
Sorry.
Okay, so do you feel like there's competition between CIS gendered women versus transgender women? Which what the fuck is CIS women?
Cisgendered women are women like yourself and Jasmine and your assistant that are born with a uterus, like biologically born women. So that's cisgendered. I'm transgendered. So that's
so it's like lesbian turn men. I kind of feel that sometimes. Is that bad?
No. Cisgendered is okay. So let me explain to you more deep. Okay.
I was being funny.
Oh,
I was being funny.
It went all over
I was
heads.
totally being like funny, sarcastic,
like,
but nobody
no,
laughed at me. I was like, okay.
We're all like,
wrong
no,
joke?
that's not it. No, it's not no, it's fine. I do look.
Oh, okay. So that's what I was talking about earlier. There is this very popular porn star, and she's huge for being transgender. She walked red carpet, AVN. She's Star should have been here. She looked it up the other day. She's actually stunning. Transgender. I was like, that's a man. She's like, yes. I was like, stunning, transgender. Hence, she was in a relationship with a girl who is living her life as a boy. So it's transgender.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a man who now lives as a woman and a lesbian who now lives as a man.
Correct.
But it's a heterosexual relationship in the public eye.
Correct. Well, in the world, yeah.
Right? But she still has her manhood and the guy still has her womanhood.
Okay.
So at the end of the sexual is still the
heterosexual.
opposite sex.
Right. So
me and her were
they're
talking
in a
today. We're like, what is
heterosexual
that considered?
a heterosexual relationship. A heterosexual trans relationship, if that makes it even more clarified. I know exactly who that is. Mm-hmm.
Oh, there you go. Oh, fancy back there. Okay, yeah. So she was in a long-term relationship with a lesbian who did hold lived her life as a boy.
Correct.
And actually, fucking, don't get me wrong, went on the page and I was like, holy fuck.
He's
if
hot.
I wasn't into masculine men, I might think he was cute. You know, because he's feminine. Like in the day, like I always talk like Jasmine, like with certain guys, she'll be like, how's that date? I'm like, you see his photos? He'll be like this, like, what's up? And I'm like, I don't think straight guys really, I mean, don't get me wrong, I have straight friends that make jokes about it, you know what I mean? But I was at the end of the day, like, not on their front page kind of stuff, really stuff, you know what I mean? But I was at the end of the day, like, I'm like, I can't be more masculine than somebody I date. Period.
So what was the question? I forgot.
I don't know.
You said.
I don't know.
You said, do you
feel that there is competition between cisgender women versus transgender women?
I do. I believe there's competition between all women. It doesn't matter if you're cisgendered, transgendered.
Right.
It doesn't matter.
That's
I feel
true.
like, unfortunately, in
That's a
the
good one.
woman world, it's just a competition in general. I'll give you a case in point. I hang out a lot with cisgender women, biologically born women, and we go out or whatever, and we'll go to a bar or whatever, and then a guy will come talk to me before them, or a few guys will come talk to me before them, and I'm not even going out to like entertain that. I'm just going out to have a good time with my girlfriends, and then there have been times where...
Why wasn't I invited? I didn't get the text. Jasmine, did you get the text? Thank you.
Well,
Sorry,
because
Esther.
we're moving forward, and that's what it is. You'll
Trev,
get the...
Did you
This
get the
was
text?
during the quarantine.
I don't even know where my phone's at. I don't even know where my phone's at. Did I get a text? I don't know.
So long story short, like, okay, so one of my cisgender friends that felt the need to disclose that I was transgender to a guy before I even got a chance to tell him. So I looked at her and I was like, why would you feel the need to say that? Like, is it because you want him? If you want him, please
Have 'em.
have him. I do not, girl. If I showed you my DMs, you'd be like, oh shit, bitch. Like,
Yeah.
you got options. Well, yeah, I have options, but and I'm not trying to brag. I'm just saying it is what it is. But I'm saying
I
like,
believe it. I've dated half of them.
so, so like to me, it's like when
I
I
know
go
for a fact
when I
you
go
do.
out with my girlfriends, I genuinely am going out with just my to have fun with my girlfriends. If I want to entertain men, I will entertain men, but that's at my discretion. So like, I just feel like, why is it a competition? It doesn't matter if you're trans or cis, because I have the same situation with my trans friends when I go to a transgender club, and I'm there, and I know that the men that are there are looking for trans women, obviously, because it's all of us. So
Yeah.
I'm just, and I actually avoid those clubs more than I do any other club, because I'm like, you guys fetish. They think
It's a
that
fetish,
it's
yeah.
a fetish. I'm an escort, all this stuff, and I'm not. So it's like,
right.
I don't
For
have.
you, it's lifestyle.
I don't judge. I'm not
Yeah.
judging. I'm like, it's fine, but I don't want to be like categorized or like put in a bubble where it's like, oh well, she's easy because I can buy her for $50 an hour or like whatever it is that they
Right,
charge.
right.
And I'm like, I'm not, no, I don't want that. So I see competition in all the worlds. It doesn't matter if you're cis or trans, and it's unfortunate because at the end of the day, I identify as a woman, so I uplift women. That's why my Instagram
Right.
page is like, I'm a
You
bigger
have the
girl.
best fucking memes. Does she not have the best memes? You have the best. I've been reposting all your memes.
Thank
Like, you have the
you.
best fucking
Because
memes
I want to uplift women.
ever.
I don't want to turn you
You're
down. Like, what the
it's
fuck?
funny. Like,
I'm
you
over
say
here.
stuff that we would never say.
And I want to be that bitch, the one that says what the other girl is afraid to say, and that's what I want to do. That's what I stand for.
Okay, so we're gonna close this off.
Sorry.
One question. Okay, if you could go back to the beginning of your trans journey, what advice would you give yourself?
Ooh, touchy subject.
Dear little Tony. Like literally, like what would we say? What, 5 years old?
5 years old.
What would you tell them today to help that Tony be who you are today?
I would tell him
Him.
very. You're gonna make me cry.
Go
That question
there.
is very, very deep.
Be you.
I went through a lot of fucked up situations as a kid because I couldn't pinpoint what it is, who I was, and I couldn't explain it in words because I wasn't as educated as I am now about what I am, who I am. And I was my mom's first and only child. So it's like I have a brother, but he's a half brother, and she didn't raise him. So that's she literally is like, you are my guinea pig. So she literally tells me this all the time. She's like, so if I fucked up in any way, I apologize. And I'm like, you didn't fuck up. It was more like we were both test running because I was test running you as a mom and you were test running me as a kid. So we both didn't know what it was. So you went with what your inclination was and I went with what my feelings were.
Right.
So I went through a lot of unnecessary religious therapy. I went through a lot of unnecessary physical therapy. I went through a lot of unnecessary emotional therapy to all draw me to the same conclusion, which was I am who I am. And this was inevitable. This was something that was not, I wasn't raped. I wasn't like, it was nothing like that. It was just like, this is who I am. And had we had accepted this years ago, then I think I would have started my journey way, way sooner. Unfortunately,
So what would you tell him right now? So,
I would tell him.
You have 5 years old right there, sitting there. Literally, like look at him. Look at him as 5 years old.
I would tell him this.
Look at him. Like seriously,
I am.
who you are today.
I don't want to.
Like the powerful person you are today.
Ugh.
The empowered person, the freedom you have today. That little person, that little boy or girl watching right now, what would you tell them to be that powerful today? They could stand here and talk about it on YouTube and social media into the world because they're about world transformation.
Correct.
Not about world judgment, but world
Correct.
transformation. So what would you tell?
I would tell him
right
this.
now?
I would say this.
Because you know who you were.
Correct.
And what you thought.
I would tell him, you're going to go through a fucked up journey. You're going to meet a lot of people who are not going to agree with your lifestyle and who you are. And you're going to go through an emotional roller coaster of whether or not you even think you belong in this world.
Keep going. He's listening. He's listening.
And at one moment, you're going to think that you don't belong in this world. So you might consider like removing yourself from this world. But you're going to find strength in all this shit that you're going through, and you're going to eventually find yourself in a place where you're like, this is who I am, this is who I was destined to be, and I'm put on this. And you're going to build yourself a platform where you can share who you are as a person, as a human being, as an adult, and people are going to not only love you for it, they're going to worship you for it and want to be a part of your journey. So don't give up. Continue to change people's minds and opinions by being at the forefront for your community and for yourself. And if and when the time comes where you feel like you haven't done enough, you will continue to keep doing it, because enough is not in your vocabulary. You're going to continue to change people's minds, and just know that. And that's what I will tell him.
We love you.
I'm crying my lashes off.
We love you, little Tony. We love little Bradshaw. We love little Bradshaw. Everybody hug little Bradshaw. Ready? Everybody hug little Bradshaw.
You're
Look.
So funny. I love you.
No, I'm
Thank you
giving
for
him
giving
love.
Thank you
You
for
know
giving
why?
me the
Because
platform.
Not until I got into sobriety, right? The 12 steps. I went to a women's meeting, and I mean, obviously, I've gone through a lot of traumatic experience in my lifetime. And I remember, like, one of my sponsors, we had to do like a thing with like a few of our people we got sober with, and she was like, "We're gonna sit in a circle." I was like, "Okay, cool, right?" I mean, I was happy to have sober friends, like this. And actually, I honestly did enjoy being sober. And we sat in a circle, we were hanging out, and she's like, she put a chair in the middle. I'm like, okay, cool, this sounds like fun. I'm like a Friday night, right? I'm not getting turned up, but like, we lap dance or what? Like, we lap dance. And she said, when was the first time in your whole life you were ever heartbroken? And you're kind of like, I don't know if you're
Very
not on
deep.
the level, you're kind of like, wait, what did that mean, right? But you kind of got to go back really deep. Like, when was the first time you ever got hurt? Were you 2 years old? Were you 3? Were you 4? Were you 5? Were you in 3rd grade? Yeah, what was the first time you ever got your feelings hurt? And at that point, it took me a minute to kind of get the exercise. I was like, I'm not really getting it, and everybody's kind of sitting there, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna go last, because I honestly did not fucking get the exercise at all. Like, I was like, I'm not having no idea what they're talking about. And not until each woman started talking to the 2-year-old girl, to that 5-year-old girl, to that 7-year-old girl, to that 14-year-old girl, that like, and I saw tears come out of their eyes. I was like, holy fuck, like, this is something I've never addressed in my life. And nor has anybody asked me this question. And that was the moment my whole life changed. Because when I could tell that little girl, you're okay and you're safe, I got you, mamas. Was when I, as Deanne Munoz, as an adult, felt safe. And not until I could tell the little scared girl within me from my past, you're safe, could I live that. So now I'm like, shit, bitch, you loud. Like, we can be loud, we can be that. But honestly, it took that moment, because I remember literally sitting there crying, bawling my eyes out. Like, I looked at myself, and all I thought was all the things that happened at that time in my life. And I was like, how are people talking to this little girl like she's okay? Like, I was like traumatized. Like, oh my God. Like, I was like, I'm going to go I'm going to go drink, whatever it was. Da-da. But at the end of the day, it wasn't. It was about confronting the demons. That's what I'm saying. So I remember like learning, one of my other sponsors said, we don't fight our demons. We dance with them. We dance. Grab them. We're going to troll with them. Let them dip you. Because that's part of who you are. It's part of what you experience. But it doesn't mean you're a victim of it. It's mean we're partners. It's like a give and pull little moment. Yeah.
And own them.
And I swear to God, ever
Okay.
since they said you're going to dance with your demons, I no longer was ever a victim. Ever. I just dance with the dark side and the light side. And I get to choose what side I want to dance with.
And here you are,
Yeah.
dancing with strangers till this day.
Yes. So thank you so much. Everybody, okay. This is an awesome podcast.
Bravo.
Okay,
bravo,
so make sure you guys give my video a thumbs up. Down below in the comments, leave a comment. If you hear anything tonight that you feel can really touch, move, and inspire somebody for greatness, for world transformation. Make sure that you forward this video over to somebody you know that's really going to touch their lives. We love you. We're going to be on social media. Hit us both up. Hit us all up. We're all here to support you and to love you. If you need somebody to talk to, we're all here. We love you.
Bye.